No, this is for what emergency.
Yes, someone from the third Philippine, third vehicle began that the van passed out in the snow.
You can't pull up because you can't really go. You can't get it all, okay?
Yeah, no, I did that.
You have to tell us about it on.
I can keep going, like, you guys got there in 15, okay?
I'm a good one, because it can.
On Friday, after 8 intense weeks of testimony, the jury in Karen Reed's retrial disappeared into deliberations. But it wasn't the words. They listened to forensic science that now forms the core of this courtroom drama. In today's video, we unpack the key forensic moments that could tip the scales right after the jury goes home for the weekend.
And happening now, we are on verdict watch. The jury in Karen Reed's retrial is continuing to deliberate for its first full day. The Bristol County woman is accused of backing into her Boston police officer boyfriend back in 2022.
Hey, Barb, the jury has been deliberating for less than 5 hours now, and this morning, Karen Reed's defense team asked for this verdict slip that goes to the jury to be changed. Now, right now, the jury of 7 women and 5 men are behind closed doors considering a week's worth of evidence. They were sent back to the deliberation room today at about 9 o'clock.
Oh boy, 31 days, nearly 50 witnesses. And now the fate of Karen Reed is going to be in the hands of a jury very soon. Prosecutors argued that Reed intentionally, of course, struck John O'Keefe. There's a much different story from the defense, and we're listening to that story from Alan Jackson. He's laying it out. This always happens, you know, in closing arguments. You hear one of them, you're like, ooh, that was great. We still have the Commonwealth and Hank Brennan. He's chomping at the bit. Let's, without any further ado, head back to the courtroom in Dedham. Alan Jackson at the podium.
Prosecutors leaned heavy on digital timelines, specifically the data from O'Keefe's phone locking and Karen's Lexus reversing. According to testimony, the iPhone locked precisely around the time the SUV reversed into the driveway. They call it near unanimous synchronization within seconds, suggesting contact. But defense experts highlighted the margin of error. A few seconds, they say, shouldn't be the difference between life and death.
Paula, good afternoon. Yes, so as the jurors were deliberating early this morning, the defense proposed their own revised verdict slip.
Here's the jury makeup. This process started about 12 weeks ago for many of these jurors. It was a split right in the middle at first. 9 men, 9 women, 18 in the box hearing case evidence over 8 weeks.
Here's where the forensic detail really matters. Red and clear plastic fragments from Karen's taillight were embedded in O'Keefe's clothing, along with his DNA. Commonwealth expert Ashley Valier linked the fragments directly to the vehicle, but the defense countered that contamination or missampling couldn't be ruled out.
We wrote a motion to reconsider the verdict slip that was just denied without a hearing. I think what happened last year with the same verdict form explains why the jurors themselves were going to said as much, so we just wanted to avoid that again.
Overall feelings heading into today, Karen?
I feel well, I feel strong, and the jury knew the right thing.
Week 8 kicked off with courtroom drama right out of the gate. The defense demanded a mistrial for the 3rd time, accusing prosecutors of misleading the jury. During cross-examination, prosecutor Hank Brennan pointed to holes in John O'Keefe's sweatshirt, suggesting they happened the night he died, but later admitted they were actually made during evidence processing. The judge denied a mistrial but gave the jury a correction. Judge Canton also limited what defense pathologist Dr. Elizabeth LaPosada could say. She wasn't allowed to call the injuries dog bites, but was allowed to talk about animal bite patterns in general.
Medical testimony split the room. The prosecution's neurosurgeon said O'Keefe's head injuries matched a backward fall from a reversing SUV. But defense pathologist Dr. Marie Russell argued dog bites and blunt force trauma were more likely culprits, especially considering scratches and abrasions inconsistent with a motor vehicle collision.
A setback for the defense as it awaits a verdict in the Karen Reed case. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Paula Eben. The jury is now in its first full day of deliberations. Today, the judge rejected a request by the defense to amend the verdict slip.
Okay, is there something specific I should be looking for?
I don't think you're going to find it, Miss McCabe. I hit him.
So again, jurors disregard the comments. So it's question answer format only.
My question is attributable to my client in that report. Objection. Do you recall telling Trooper Proctor that my client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him? Objection.
Do you recall that?
Yes, I told him.
What do you think? When forensics conflict, bits of plastic, digital signals, disputed injury origins, what's the real story?
There was no collision. There was no collision. There was no collision. You folks are the last line of defense. The last line of defense between an innocent woman and a system that has tried to break her, that falsely accused her, that tried mightily to bury the truth. This case was corrupted from the start. It was corrupted by biases, conflicts, and personal loyalties that you heard about. And most fatally, it was corrupted by a lead investigator whose misconduct infected every single part of this case, from the top to the bottom.
She made a decision about herself. In her Lexus, she drove away. She was drunk. She hit him, and she left him to die.
Drop your take in the comments. One of the most vivid pieces of evidence, a physical test by crash reconstructionist Dr. Judson Welcher. He replicated a 6,000-pound Lexus backing up, using paint to show how broken taillight edges could scrape an arm in the same way O'Keefe was injured. Visual, convincing, yet still not conclusive. With the jury gone for the weekend, these forensic details will be dissected behind closed doors. Whether it's sync data, plastic shards, or injury interpretation, the verdict rests on reasonable doubt.
So your proposed verdict slip did not cite any case law. Do you have any case law that supports that proposition, Mr. Yannetti? I have not found any. I've looked.
There's not a lot of case law out there in this verdict slip either.
Other than that has never been proven, has never been found to be inaccurate.
Not yet.
Okay. So that's fine. So your rights are reserved. Does that help you?
Right, well, all we can do is object to it. You make
Okay.
you make the decision.
Okay.
Judge, the last couple...
If you find authority for that, let me know. Okay.
The last couple things, judges, that we were provided with a clean
laptop?
Computer laptop. Thanks. We were, with a clean laptop. Defense counsel had a chance to, or at least defense had a chance to look at it, and I think that's fine. But
All right, so we'll send that in with the exhibits. I need to go edit my charge to fix all the typos.
And then the final thing is I provided counsel with the exhibit list that we had, and it was satisfactory for both sides.
Great.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
All rise for the court, please.
Are forensic experts too trusted, even when their findings are open to interpretation? Subscribe, hit the bell, and join us Monday when the verdict drops.